Ever since Thomas the Tank Engine arrived on the island of Sodor, he had always wanted to see the world. And one day, he saw his chance. Thomas and Friends, really useful around the world. Thomas visits the Canadian Rockies. Thomas was hauling some tankers through the Rocky Mountains of Canada. The trees he saw in the redwood forest were bigger than any of the trees on Sodor. Wow, said Thomas. The lakes were bigger too. And the mountains were very high indeed. Bust my buffers, said Thomas nervously. Then it started to snow. At first, there were just a few fluffy flakes, but then the snow got heavier and heavier. Cinders and ashes, said Thomas. This is too much for my little snowplow. I'm stuck. And that's when Thomas heard a strange noise. It sounded like a monster. A big roaring monster. It had a big round mouth and spinning teeth. Oh, shouted Thomas, the monster's going to eat me too. Hello, said a friendly voice. I can see you're having a little trouble with the snow. Thomas saw that it wasn't a great big monster at all. My name is Marshall, and this is my rotary snowplow. Fizzling fireboxes, shouted Thomas. That's a big plow. I know, said Marshall, and it was invented right here in Canada, especially for Canadian snow. Now, if you back on up a little, you can switch tracks and finish your journey on the clear line. How are you doing back there? Shouted Marshall. Fine, thanks to you, shouted Thomas. And the two really useful engines went on their way, all the way through Rocky Mountain country.
Stan, please tell our lovely viewers what we have in store for them today.
Well, Nigel, we'll be taking a look at the most famous tank engine in the world, Thomas.
Thomas, the #1 blue tank engine.
Oh, well, actually, Nigel, I think you'll find that when Thomas first arrived on Sodor, he was green.
Green? Green? I'm speechless. I can't believe it.
Well, yes, when Thomas first arrived on Sodor from the mainland, he was the smallest engine on the railway.